Yo, Joes and agents of Cobra Command, welcome to episode 314 of GI Joburg. It's called Phantom Brigade Mail Call, but it's really just about new toys. We're not going to try and clothe this in anything other than what it is. You see, the three of us, Rob, Paul, Steve, myself, received a loot box each from good buddy of the show, patron, YouTube member and all-round good guy, MC DJ ACDC, who henceforth will be known as Father Christmas Creech. I don't know. Andrew, this episode is all about you, baby, because we are each going to unveil the amazing toys that you sent us, because I don't know what Paul got and what Rob got. They don't know what I got. So this is going to be great radio. But hopefully our excitement will come through and maybe bring a little bit of joy to you guys out there, because we are over the moon. Who are we? As I said before, my name is Steve. I'm joined by Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Big Boss. And yeah, I'm joining Steve, Rob, Paul, and myself.
Easy, brother. I never rehearse these things. Rob will be a little bit late to the proceedings, but it is with some great delight that I say that we have people in the live chat already. A little shout out to Moonlight47, Mark van Leeuwen, Joe Fan 84, Bob Squad, Shane Brayler, Dabuya J, Peter Moline, and Ben Flying Retro. What's up, Ben?
Hey.
I'm glad Mark's in the chat, because I was at a disadvantage the last time we did a live show, because he had premiered his When Darkness Falls play motion while I was fast asleep, and then I woke up and did a show, and you were like, have you seen it? I'm like, whoops, I'm a little bit late to the party, but I have seen it in the interim, and seen it multiple times, and it is excellent. When Darkness Falls is the name of the play motion. It's over on Mark van Leeuwen's own personal YouTube channel. I don't have a link currently, but by the time you listen to this on the repeat, I will have a link in the description below. And what can I say other than the fact that it is a very unique slant on G.I. Joe? It's kind of an adventure story and a horror story set on this, I don't know, ancient civilization ruin on an island. It's got Slipstream and Raven, the Night Raven pilots, in the leads. It's fascinating. It's a very unique, very fresh, and has a great atmosphere about it. Very, very interesting to see G.I. Joe toys presented like that. A bit of horror, a bit of, as I say, Indiana Jones style adventuring. Say, Paul?
I love all the effects, all the practical effects and stuff that he does.
Yeah. Dry ice.
Very cool. Yeah.
And let's not lose sight of the fact that he builds his sets, paints them, and just crafts these worlds out of cardboard paper. Very creative. He did a making of as well. Painfully brief. I don't think he gives away too many secrets in it, but it's fascinating to see just how much bloody hard work went into creating the damn thing. Anyway, Paul, we've got new toys. As I said, Rob will be a little bit late to the proceedings, but let's not let that stop us. I'm dying to see what you have. I filmed an unboxing, so unless you have any objections, I'm going to go first, because if you are a G.I. Joburg hardcore, what I have isn't going to be a surprise, because you might have seen the unboxing video I did with my kid. He was delighted. In fact, he hasn't been watching much TV or getting too much sleep ever since, because we've just been playing all day, every day. It's been toy time. Yeah. All right.
Go for it.
Cool. So, a lot of Marvel figures. I don't know if you know about their new Epic Hero series, sort of 4-inch. That's what they now call the 4-inch scale. But let's rinse through these pretty quickly. We got Spider-Man. Very nice Spider-Man, actually. Iron Spider. Stop if you want to talk about any of these. I don't know, more detail, Paul.
I gotta mention that I think Rob and I will do ours. We'll kind of open ours live, because
What?
We want to do
Really?
because that was the plan. Yeah,
ASMRing it.
we opened the stuff long ago.
Oh, okay. Well, good, good. I'm glad you held off then. This is a very special occasion
Yeah, I've been
indeed.
chomping at the bit actually.
Just don't be crumpling too many papers in front of your mic, please. Venom, also from that series, and this probably is my favoritist Venom of all at this scale. I mean, he has individuated toes. I don't have a Venom figure that has, like, is that a standard thing for Venom? Doesn't he have just feet?
I
Like,
think it changed.
that changed. Okay, they've made him
They
kind
have
of like
changed
a
that. Yeah.
like a bear. But the tongue is awesome. It's flexible. The Titan series is, sorry, the Epic series is kind of your basic price point action figure. So a lot of them don't have paint apps on the back. Cheat. And they come in windowless packaging. So someone might have touched my toy. But this guy has his paint apps, front and back. He's looking very cool. Then my very first Carnage action figure. And he's got a
That
very
is-
detailed sculpt.
That's isn't that the new Carnage?
Well, he comes from this epic series of 4-inch Marvel action figures. All of these figures could do with a wash. Like, the sculpts are brilliant, but of course the paint apps are not as detailed because it's, as I say, a basic price point for kids. But as I say, with the sculpt as good as this, like this sort of Carnage always had that kind of almost like he's a skinless individual. It's like he's just bloody red and like muscly and sinewy. So all those like grooves and
No bum.
he's got no butt. Andrew got me an Iron Man. I don't have an Iron Man here in Oz. Nice to have. A little bit like way too gold for my taste. I'm like, wow, they needed a little bit more red on the legs and stuff. But great to have Iron Man in the mix. Have you ever watched The Flash?
Which the TV series?
No, the film.
No. No.
Well, if you can endure it, Sasha Callie's Supergirl is probably the biggest shining light of that film. I think Andrew must have listened to an old episode where I spoke about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get that for Jubs," because it's a cool figure, and it's also like in that 4-inch scale, works perfectly with my my Michael Keaton Batman, and she's got a fabric cape, which is, I suppose it's not unique to Spin Master per se, but a lot of their like toys have that kind of ribbon, like a cheerleading baton. Yeah, no, she's got a fabric cape, which is great. Even cool
I haven't
accessories.
seen that here at all. I haven't seen any of. I haven't even seen that Marvel Epic stuff, to be honest. Like, now that I think
Well,
about it.
it's not widespread. It's widespread in the States. I've seen it in Singapore. I've not seen the X-Men ones in Australia. Now, that's what kicked off this whole loot box, because Andrew was asking, like, is this something I can keep an eye out for you? And I was like, well, Andrew, there's something that is exclusive to Target US, which is not going to be hitting anywhere else. If you are excited about the forthcoming X-Men 97 cartoon...
I'm very excited about those.
Yeah, the trailer, as of recording this podcast, the trailer has just dropped. So it's time, guys. X-Men to me. So this 5-pack is the only way you can get Gambit. And I was like, I'm not going to get the individual figures if I can get the 5-pack. So Andrew spotted it. I think it was in the lead up to like Black Friday, and picked it up, and they're great. They're suitably toonified.
They look awesome.
In the kind of style of the forthcoming show. Marvel Universe was a massive line and ran for a number of years, but the parts reuse really brought it down. Like, these are all unique sculpts. Marvel Universe, I think there were like 2 female bucks. You either had the one, which is quite petite, or you had the other, which had like a gammy leg. This Rogue, or the Rogue that I have from that line, has the gammy leg construction. But this Rogue, the new one, perfect. Love her. You got to see the booty, hey, Paul.
Hey, dude, that booty shot in the animated series is
Will live forever. I must say
Yeah.
though, in spite of the fact that like Gambit has got the coolest card throwing effect of any scale ever, like this is just lovely pink candy.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
you know I don't like blast effects, but when it brings out Gambit's power, it's effectively an accessory because it's got these sort of individuated cards. It slips over his like two fingers. It's perfect. I love that. But the highlight of the 5-pack has got to be 90s Storm with her
But it's
80s
not 90s
mohawk.
Storm. Yeah, that's
It's the big shoulder pads, like white uniform, but with her mohawk. It's a great hybrid of the two eras.
I love this design of Storm. I really, really, really love it. I just don't know if I love it over having the classic 90s look. It's weird. It's like it's difficult to say because I think they're both great designs. They're both great looks. You know.
I think the mohawk makes her
Storm is a cool
look a little
character.
bit less whitewashed. I might get into trouble for this, but like
No,
she
I
looks
think
like
I think
she
you're 100%
is,
right there. Yeah.
you know, she's first generation. I mean, not first. She is from the African continent. She's plucked from here. Like there's nothing sort of anglicized or westernized about that look. The mohawk really brings out, I don't know,
No, I agree with you on
her
that. I think,
identity.
that's kind of what made the 80s one so cool as well.
The long white
My
dresses.
Lego one is like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on. Okay, let's get into some non-Marvel stuff. Andrew must have once again overheard a old podcast, and he knew I was into GoBots because he got me a recolor Mirage. I mean, I don't know Transformers too well, but like, this is the Mirage sculpt, surely. It's even the Mirage looking sort of face sculpt.
Yeah, it looks like Mirage.
But who is it?
Transformers.
It's called Decepticon Crasher. And if you know transforming robots, you might recognize that this is actually a sort of a Transformers swipe of a GoBots character. Crasher, evil renegade. And
Very cool.
one
That is
hell of a
very
cool character, yeah. Hey, she's great. I haven't taken her out of her box yet. I need to find a suitable occasion. But yeah, she's... Oh, man. Such a cool, iconic color scheme. And it's the perfect sculpt to bring her out. Yep, into the TFs we go. People are enthusiastic about me getting a Transformer in my hand again. Chief among them.
I didn't even know that existed.
Mark and Ben. Oh, Moonlight 47 has this to say about Storm. The Mohawk is less regal, but stands out more. I don't know, regal in whose culture? It might have greater significance from where she's from. Was Crasher a girl, says Hans. The voice is very husky. Well, I can't speak to the actual voice artist, but I think if you could call any GoBot female, Crasher was one of them. Crasher, Littlefoot, Pathfinder, these were all females. Among others. I mean, they sort of just willy-nilly assigned genders to these bots, just like they assigned their allegiances. Like in Japan, there were no such thing as the friendly guardians and the evil renegades. They were, like, all the vehicles were good guys and all the monsters were bad guys. This and other fun facts on a GI Joe podcast. Let's talk about some Joes. Andrew did send some, but before that, he included a stocking filler, a ice cube tray. It's so cool. The only reason I don't have it to hand now is because it's seeing heavy usage. Like, every time we get a cold drink for the boy, he insists that he has his Batman ice cubes. Yeah, it's fun. They're really good. They make, it's a Keaton bat symbol, sort of Tim Burton era. So that makes me happy. Now it's question time. Is Rob with us? I don't see him.
He is here in spirit. I haven't heard his voice yet.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to say hello to
You're
everybody?
speaking continuously. I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, my buddy.
Lots of cool
He's
stuff.
here. I know. Welcome to the party, man.
Whoa.
About to do some Joes. And
Oh
a
my
question
goodness.
for the class.
Oh.
I've only ever had the non-earring revision version of Zorana. But now, I have earring
The
version.
ugly head version.
Okay, well, Paul's cast his vote.
Hate that
I
version.
had to have them both in hand in order to make my determination. I like what the earring version does, and I like the fact that it's closer to the card art, but she's got a big head, guys. Wow.
That's what bugs me about it.
Really.
That's the only thing
In person,
that
it's a
really,
bit
really
more-
bugs me.
It's a bit more pronounced
Big.
in person.
I'm sure.
But, as I said, it's closer
it looks
to
like
the
another
card
toy
art.
line's head stuck on her. Ugh.
Okay. Rob, what do you say?
Well, the face on the left, I think, looks more appealing. Like she
this
looks
one.
less like no on stage right.
Oh, very good.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like that one. So you like the earring
I like it
version.
better. Yeah. I think the other version kind of like her hair feels real pulled back. It's just like.
She's got a 5 head. Right. Well, as it turns out, the earring version, this one, was the first initial version, and they changed it because I think they thought that she wasn't attractive enough. So the non-earring version was the revision. And
Oh.
is more common. I've had 3 non-earring versions before I got my first earring version. So yeah, I had to have it. And thanks to Andrew, now I do.
Now you do. And apparently you have 2 ugly figures, according to Zantara. He thinks both Zantara headscarves are kind of ugly, although it hurts to say that for them.
Yeah, I gotta
Jason-
agree there as well. But between two evils, I choose the lesser.
Right. Jason Mural says that he's the team earrings all day.
Hey.
So it's pretty divisive, I think. Moonlight 47, is this another a vintage Han Solo head situation? Yes, absolutely. I mean, this was the clearest example I can think of a running change in terms of a head sculpt in GI Joe. And they're very different versions. They're not just a slight difference. Zorana, I didn't know it was you. That's me doing Diagnostic 80.
Bonus.
Doing Thrasher. It's a line from the movie. Anyways, guys, I'm sick of hogging the camera. One last thing, bit of Joe goodness. I've never had an LCV or low crawl vehicle, the small green bike from 1986, up until now. Never really had a strong need for one. But when Andrew found out I didn't have one, he was like, well, now you do, buddy.
Gotta fix
Yay.
What are your opinions on the LCV, gents? It's a
I really
weird
dig it.
thing. You dig it?
I should assemble mine. Still in the box.
Got one in the box.
Yeah.
I
don't
looks
have the heart
cool. I
to-
think if it didn't
to do
have
it.
the weird like tracks in the front, I think it would be a really cool vehicle. Kind of reminds
Yeah.
me very tangentially, or I mean, the shape kind of reminds me of a Tron cycle.
Yes.
Mm.
You're
I
really
don't
lying
understand.
down in it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But you're right about this
The
front
front
wheel. It's always
wheel
bothered
is
me.
Weird.
Or 3 wheels.
I
And it's got the little
think how animated it is actually.
dummy roller in the front.
Also, I like what Ben has to say here. It's like Havoc vibes. I think the
Yeah.
LCV goes very nicely, or pairs very nicely with the Havoc as a
As it
Havoc
should.
support vehicle.
They're kind of
Ah.
envisioned together. It does have a rubber wheel. It's one wheel. The remaining wheel is a good one. But not just that, guys. He gave me the full experience. The box was included. And not just the box,
Ooh.
but the blueprints and a rare and wonderful treat. All the sprue.
Oh, cool! The runners, nice.
Yeah. And probably the original baggies.
Fix it up.
It can
Very nice.
disassemble it and stick it back on its runners. But yes, some honest opinions coming from the chats. Shane Braylon never liked the LCV.
Yeah, Hans
as I
Child likes
say-
it better than the Ram.
Interesting opinion. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess the RAM, if you weren't Team 82 all the way, like the RAM seems a little bit rudimentary. It's hardy, but it's also like it's a bit basic. Whereas the LCV has all the kind of the model kit greeblies that you expect from the later era, including that periscope, which is almost always missing.
Also, cool choice of having dial tone on there with the backpack. It harmonizes well.
Well, I like
Yeah.
dial tone in there because I see this as a espionage vehicle. Like if dial tone's, moving through the desert, setting up checkpoints for little like listening devices and spy tech, this is the vehicle he would choose to do it in because it's got a lot of like tech in it, like the periscope, the sticker on the dash is like a radar. So I feel like maybe that periscope has some kind of radar device just to give him a heads up of any
That's
bogeys.
very cool.
Yeah, it's got merit, even though it's
It's
weird
got
as hell.
character. It kind of stands out. It's not just another cycle. There's some aspects to it that kind of it already suggests play to you.
got
More
a
than just,
frickin'-
I'm on a bike.
It's got a rear-firing minigun.
Oh
I mean,
hell
in
yeah.
case he gets pursued.
That's gonna ruin his driving line.
And well, isn't a
do you
minigun
aim
quite like
then?
stable because of the spin? No, maybe the spin. No, actually, never mind. Take it back. I don't know what I'm talking about. Detailed engine back there. But I think the best aspect is like how much like paneling there is brought out by the stickers on the console. Love that. And nice little surprise, which is something that only if I had the blueprints I would have been hip to. So thank you for including those. But this transparent piece in the front, this headlight, like separate piece, guys. I mean, that shows it's not just a sticker. It's not it shows a lot of panache put into the actual design and construction of this thing. They didn't have to, but they went the
Someone
extra mile.
Absolutely loved that design. Then I mean, it's a small vehicle, but they kind of try to make it like like a quality toy. Before we get too far away from Zorana, Zantara wants to clarify. From the neck down, Zorana figure is awesome dreadnought.
I agree with that.
So it's just the head that Zantara does not like at all.
Now,
gotta get
my
that on
question
the
to
record.
Zantara and the class is, do you have the Zorana that came with the Soundwave Thunder Machine, and is that a better head sculpt? Talk amongst
Whoa.
yourselves. Alright, that's me, boys. What did you guys get?
Oh,
So, Robbo, I think
So,
I think
Paulo.
this is how you and I should do this because
Yeah.
Steve didn't stick to the original plan. He opened his
that's
stuff up
fantastic.
and whatever
I
already.
hate plans. Plans gotta go into
So-
the rubbish bin.
You and I are gonna have to like open our boxes here on screen
Fantastic.
and show
I
people
love
what
it.
we got. You might just have to
Whoa.
switch on your camera though.
I suppose. It's gonna be difficult to see me though.
Wow. Rob
It
is
looks like
behind a
little
mountain
pyramid
of
with, like, Rob's
parcels.
right head. Yeah.
Hello. Hello there.
Oh, shot, Jason.
Well, let me start so you can see a little bit more of me. So this
Jason
one's marked
says I'm
GI
giving
Joe.
some serious villain vibes today.
I reckon it's a GI Joe. Let's find out together.
What? It says GI Joe on the box. Are we gonna go 1-1-1-1 or are you gonna?
I
are you
don't
gonna do
know.
it Together? Ooh,
What is it?
that's a nice one, Rob.
I actually
see.
don't even know. I can't see it.
Oh, we're finding out together. It's Copperhead.
Whoa!
With file card.
Copperhead.
Very nice.
cool. With file card.
And you've
That's
got a
pretty
water
cool.
moccasin, don't you?
He's got a tiger shark.
I have a
Tiger-
tiger shark
tiger
and pop
shark.
him in there. Oh, I also have that cool green vehicle Stephen gave me. The helicopter that can.
Oh,
land on the
Swamp
wall.
Fire. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Oh.
probably looks good on a Swamp Fire.
He looked
Now,
absolutely
Copperhead-
perfect. The coloring is so similar. Like he should be in there.
And significant because I think this is Andrew's favorite character. So MCDJ ACDC's. Yep. He gave you one of his very own.
Aw.
It's a special
He's really
reach
cool,
out and
though.
touch you moment.
Is there
Go
gonna
get
be a
out
scoop
there.
in there? Asks Moonlight47. Now
I guess
that's a
we're
good
gonna
question.
find out, aren't we? We're gonna find out together tonight.
You've said in the past that you're not army building scoop, but
Oh no, not at all. I'm not.
if
but
anyone
people
happens to send it your
me,
way?
you know. I'm gonna do one more before we do Paul, just so that you
Perfect.
guys can see me a bit better. Let's see.
Ooh.
Where
Yay,
is it?
Zelda reference. Thank you, Rob.
Heavy
I still don't know what it
duty.
is.
Dude, this is very cool.
Here is
I'm
it.
very jello.
Oh, heavy duty.
I'm jello for the gear.
Another green figure. We're 2 for 2 on the greens. Hell yeah.
Super bonus is if you've got the visor as well.
Oh,
I saw it.
he doesn't need a visor.
I think
he's
I
got a
did
cool
too,
hat.
but
Yeah.
no,
Gonna
wait
get out
until you put
there.
on the. Oh,
Rip
he's
some
badass.
cobra
man.
heads off. Absolutely awesome. I love getting file cards as
duty.
well. Actually, really enough.
The full experience.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Cool.
you might see a few more file cards because that's how Andrew likes to collect as well.
On your rolls.
In fact, he
hell yeah.
insists.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. Send me another one.
Send me the
Paul, an
text.
angel.
What's
Okay, I'm
going
gonna
on?
grab. I've got a pile here, but I can't put them in front of me like Rob has. So I'm just gonna grab a box.
Boring.
I'm just
You
gonna
know,
grab
come to
a
the
box,
party.
and then
Ooh.
I'll open up. So try to do what Rob did. Bubble wrap. Oh, cool. That's very cool. It's red.
Oh,
Oh,
that looks too big to
news.
be a Joe.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not GI Joe. No, it's not Heberg.
Not Heberg?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtleberg
Ooh.
and Power Ranger. It's weird.
It's
It's a
Yeah,
Red
that's
Red
cool.
Ranger Raph, I guess.
Red Ranger wrap.
Who makes
That's
those?
wild.
Playmates.
I don't know. I think so. I need to actually look it up. Because I know that this was like a 2-pack deal. But I'm so glad because if I was gonna ever pick up just one figure from this line, this was the one. And I'd considered it for a long time. But I never pulled the trigger because I didn't want like the 2-pack. I popped the head on. So this is very
That's
thoughtful.
kind of difficult for me because I don't see Raph as like a leader character, and I usually see Red Ranger. He's usually the leader character.
That's
It's
correct.
kind of a. It doesn't mash together exactly.
This is an official just caught something in the chats.
Mashup.
Paul's looking like Serpentor Khan pre-zombification, of course. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Dude.
I think he looks kind of post-zombification to me.
And WJ, is that official a crossover or bootleg?
It's official.
Yeah,
It's
it's
official.
official.
They do
mean,
they do turtles mixed with Cobra Kai,
Yeah,
Stranger
Turtles
Things.
with E-Man as well now. I mean, I think I spoke on how horrible those looked.
Yeah, I don't love them
Awful.
either. I think that concept is so cool, but the execution is bad. Should I grab another box, guys?
I think do
Please.
it.
Go
And
back
while
to
you're
Rob.
doing that, I saw a question earlier from Terrence Childs. I think it was directed at Steve.
Mm,
Do you have a JoJo General?
I do not.
You do not.
There's one for sale not too far from me here in Oz. It's $600 dues. Oh, no, I think he wants 800. And I'm like, no.
Knock him down,
I-
dude. Knock him down a few pegs. Come on.
Can't say I want it that badly.
Come on.
But yeah, that is something that we could stand to review, take a look at. It's something that I've had very little actual contact with, so
Same.
hopefully one day.
We've only ever seen it a little bit at Greg's place, actually.
Not for lack of
I have
trying.
a couple of other generals. I have General Hawk. I have General Flag.
Okay. I really
He's not
dig this, by the
the-
way. I think this is such a cool thing to have for my
He's
turtle shrine.
awesome, dude. Did
So
he
the
come with
next
his
thing that
weapon?
I got you, he
What?
does.
Wait,
He's got all of his accessories and weapons. He's got
Hell yeah.
Power Ranger vibes
Ooh.
style. Yeah, which is very cool.
Power
So-
size.
I grabbed.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the next one is this one, so you guys know it's the Heberg figure, but it's an exclusive Heberg figure, which is quite fancy.
Ooh.
I know it looks like a giant walrus man, but it's actually like some kind of snake dude. So let's have a look. This will be the first and probably only exclusive He-Man figure I ever own, because
Never
this
say
is
never,
actually my
boy.
sale- True, but this is actually what killed the Origins line for me, is when they did Mossman and Grizzlaw and stuff as exclusives. Is what killed the line. But to have this dude is very cool, and this is Fang or Fangor. However you want to.
Fang or what?
Or this is kind of cool though. It's got a slip case.
Oh, that's sweet.
Which I really love. Like for an exclusive figure, that's actually very clever. And there he is. I don't want to go and waste time on camera now, liberating him. But he's looking great, and the paint job looks quite spectacular. I mean, this is what you get when you get an exclusive figure. Although I must say, this line has always been very tight. Oh, and he's got some great swords in the back there, and some kind of snake-shaped wrench. At the back
very
there.
cool. Okay, so he's like the mechanic on Snake Mountain.
He's Mr. Fix-It, yeah. I'm trying to. This
the
is
can
fun.
opener.
This is cool.
Fuzzor, block the toilet again. Sing Fangor down there.
Sing Fangor to go fix the toilet. You silly thing. Yeah, but yeah,
With his
totally.
can
Exactly the
opener.
vibe. Yeah, Robbo.
Does Fangor have the teeth gimmick or changeable heads?
He does.
It looked like
No,
had
he's
them
got
in the
he's got
packaging.
he's got additional teeth that you can add on. So thereby his
they're on
his
the
right
on his right hand.
by his
Yeah.
right hand. Yeah, he's got these like teeth that you pop in. I have no idea how
Oh.
that's supposed to work.
So it doesn't actually
sure it'll be-
descend.
It should.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that mechanism? You know, like they could do it in the
maybe
80s,
just to
but
give
they
him
can't
more
do it in-
articulation. I have absolutely no familiarity with this character whatsoever, so this is fun.
You're gonna discover
only-
something new about yourself.
Yeah. The only snake, what do they call them? The snake. Oh, there he is, fearsome fang snake scientist. But of the snake men, the only snake man I really have a lot of familiarity with is the one
The
of
Snake
the
Man
tan,
himself.
the purple one.
I don't know him. I know the Snake Lord dude because he could shed his shell.
King
and he became
Hiss,
like a
I think
snake
his
man.
name is.
Yeah.
I think that's King Hiss. Yeah, this is very cool. Like Andrew, thank you, bro. Like nice one.
There you go.
I don't know if I should like display it like this or liberate it or just a bit of both at different times of the year.
Keep
Well, we'll
us
see.
in the loop, Paul. Let us know what you decide to do with this fantastic figure.
I will, Rob. I'll keep us. But now show us more from Box Mountain.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, what's next? Let's find out. Oh, wow, that's a lot of packaging.
Yes, that is a lot of bubble wrap,
Okay.
dude. We can't even see what that is, but I can sort of see a color. I see a green. There's a green in there.
Who is
Ooh.
it?
Slaughters, Marauders,
Bacon, bro.
Footloose.
Holy
You got Kevin
moly.
Bacon right there.
The Slaughters Marauders version. That's insane. Because I think I recently got the normal version, or I already have the normal version.
You
But I
do?
do not have this funky dude.
Ooh, muchos respect to that toy. Very underrated, in my
Well,
opinion.
he makes the weird color scheme of the Slaughters Marauders work, I think. Like, I think he actually looks pretty cool like this. Yeah.
You're going to start crewing up your equalizer.
Ooh, I think I will.
Nice.
Very cool. And once again, file carded and fully equipped. It's the way I like to see it done. It's the way I like to see it done. Okay, let's do one more.
Zontara nailed it. Tongue Lashor. Yeah, that's the one I did.
Tongue lash.
So cool. Had him as a kid.
And Robert had King Hiss. Figure that I always
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yes.
'Cause of the
He was
feature.
awesome. Okay,
I've actually seen that before, but I see a lot
Have
of
you?
people glue them together.
Yeah.
You no,
Like-
why would you do that?
I don't know.
What a
man.
waste.
Charbroil.
Oh, cool.
I do not own a Charbroil. This is so cool.
Dude, Charbroil also just like really interesting toy. Like lots of cool.
I
little
finally
things
have the guy that breaks the Geneva Convention on the Joe team. Yeah.
that-
We will burn the Cobra alive.
There's something particularly creepy about Charbroil himself. Whereas Blowtorch is just like named after the implement, Charbroil is actually like bringing like a culinary term into his
Yeah.
job. He's like,
And what
I'm not
it's
just gonna.
literally what he does to the people he's burning.
I will trouble you.
Yeah.
Burn their knickers.
And he has those cool red eyes, you know.
and
And he's
cool,
a redhead too, so you know.
and cool red lenses on his like bug eye helmet. Like he's a scary,
Yeah.
scary dude. And
That's
there might have
so-
been some childhood trauma as well behind him, because as
Yeah.
a youth, he was being sent out to like blowtorch frozen water pipes.
Yes.
Like that's
First
not an
one,
appropriate job for a child. That's
he worked on the
traumatizing.
Gomorrahs and lakes feeding coal into blast furnaces. This man spent his entire life on fire. Now he's giving fire to others.
scary.
never be cold again. Paul, show us
Me.
what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm just busy
Yeah,
popping in.
almost visible.
Red
guys.
Power
Almost-
Ranger wraps
yeah.
other hand for his weapons.
Whoa.
I would like to. Okay. Yeah, at least I'm enjoying my toys.
It's
There's a box here
playtime.
that says- There's a box here that says Power Rangers, so I'm gonna skip past that one because I kind of know what's in it. I'm gonna grab that where it's like mysterious. So I'm
Ah,
not gonna
it's a
skip
Power
it
Ranger.
entirely. I'll just leave it for last because we know
You
what's
don't
in
know
there.
what
So
color
this one's
it
from
is.
Target. That's so
Hmm.
cute. Check the doggy, and then at the back it's got the doggy's bum.
Oh my god, this
Anyway,
has to be a classified figure. That's the only thing that I know that comes from Target.
ooh, this is very, very not expected at all. Actually,
This is my guess.
Guys?
I'm guessing.
it's more turtles,
Ooh.
and this is Raza from the
Ah,
movie.
the werewolf.
Well, what is he meant to be again? He's
From
not
the
even a
movie.
wolf. Like,
You
yeah,
better
but he's
believe
not
the
even a
Viper
wolf.
Scout.
He's like kind of useless. He's like kind of like a prairie dog or something like that. Like they go and find the two most dangerous animals in the zoo, and they find Raza and a snapping turtle, which is Tokar. So Raza's here. So something fun about this is that this is the best action line, which is sort of meant to be a kind of a 1 to 18 scale. Like there's a line of turtles that go with this, and they 1 to 18 scale, and he's quite a
Nah,
bit
they're
bigger.
slightly bigger. They're not
They
1
are
to
slightly
18.
bigger, but I mean,
Come on.
they kind of want to. I mean, if you look at the Shredder and stuff, he's just a little bit bigger than a GI Joe kind of thing, or more sort of in line with the modern era Joe. And that makes these kind of cool because it puts them sort of in my Joe-verse, and I dig that because they kind of seem the right scale. Like they're too small to put with my other Ninja Turtles, but they are great to go up against like Joes and stuff. And you guys know I'm all into them. Giant
WJ,
mutants.
Blowtorch, Charbel, and Ice Cream Soldier. The three
And
war
this is
crime
from Loyal
soldiers.
Subjects. Cool. Should I
Barbecue.
open another?
He's at the mess. Do it, Paul. Open another
Should
one.
I open a small box or a big box?
Oh, I don't know. You decide.
Okay.
I'm leaving because you can't see the two biggest boxes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave the big boxes
That's
for the end then as well. Cool. Okay, I've got this box here.
Ooh, show
Oh,
us, Paul. Show
I
us.
see I've got medium small box. Unfortunately, there's the wrapping because customs decided they had to remove all of the Christmas
I
wrapping
was so sad when I saw
And
the
they
little
opened
pieces
our
of
boxes.
wrapping.
to make sure we weren't smuggling the drugs or something.
It's like, do they
Yeah.
not have an X-ray machine or something that checks?
Yeah, I don't know.
It
There's
broke
another
last
Turtles
month.
thing.
Uh,
Yeah, I probably did break last month. Look, it's another Turtles thing. This is very cool. Shock absorption. This looks like
love
camo
that
netting.
bubble wrap.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
awesome.
cool. It's like Gilly.
I actually
Really?
want to keep it, and then like put it on top of the warthog. You know?
It's that like honeycomb cardboard. It's been cut so that
Oh.
it makes honeycomb.
Oh, dude,
Oh, lovely.
it's Tokar. The
You're
snapping
literally
turtle
just
from
talking about him.
Secrets of the Ooze. Yeah, I was literally just talking about him. He is really nice. Like Razar is cool, but Tokar really stands out. Wow, this is a cool toy. Check this out, guys. Like, he's big, he's green, he's mean. Got some cool accessories there, like a mace and a kind of a very gangstery, punky knife. Some different hands. He's way more interesting. But of the two, I also do prefer him, to be fair. So it's nice to have a bad turtle. There are very few of them. So yeah, cool. Okay, on to you,
Oh
Rob.
yeah, and he's a proper
Um,
turtle too. He actually
He's
looks
a
like
proper turtle. Yeah.
I mean, what happened
Unlike
to
the
the
Ninja
actual
Turtles.
teenage mutant? Is that what they're going to look like when they turn to adults?
Well,
I guess we'll find out.
according to law, these are babies.
Oh, isn't that
I'm gonna
sweet?
open my toy up while you show us one of yours.
Okay, let's see what's next.
Merry Christmas, lads.
Ooh, Merry Christmas and also early birthday present. My birthday is actually
Yes.
this
Oh, there's
Friday,
a card.
so
Comes with a trading card.
very cool.
Very cool. What's in the box, Rob?
Oops.
Oh, oops. Wow.
Oh, okay,
Oh, I see another file card.
Oh,
It's
best
DJ.
GI figure ever made ever.
1989's
Rob's
DJ.
favorite. Rob is so excited. He loves DJ. He's like, yeah,
Oh my
Dude.
goodness, DJ.
insanity.
Really? Ooh, and he seems to come with I assume it's a repro mic?
His
Well,
antenna.
His antenna, yeah. Very
There's
cool
like a
packaging,
piece that
by the
sticks in
way.
the back of his head as well. Like a very, very small piece.
Oops, this way
Sticks in
around.
the
Very
back of
cool
his head.
packaging. So thanks to the War lens, War lens for
Tokar's
the
mouth
completing
opens.
piece.
Sorry.
Okay, so now I own DJ.
Now you
Well-
finally own DJ. Rob, you can cross that off your Christmas wish list.
Your secret's out, Rob. You want to complete the 1989 series of figures.
This is
So
very true.
DJ
It is
had to
very
happen sooner or later. Thank you, Andrew.
Absolutely
He's a
necessary.
very difficult figure to complete because of those
Yes.
small white plugs. So
The little
Well,
head
there
plug
you go.
thing.
He
Oh.
fixed
Andrew's
that.
done you a bigger solid than maybe you even realize at this point.
I
Yeah.
have not realized it yet. I'm only getting late tonight when I'm, lying in bed, trying to go to sleep. I'll realize whoa.
Touch yourself
Hmm.
while you play with
And I
DJ.
appreciate that Andrew appreciates complete figures. I do quite like that. Figures don't have to be, like mint on card, but I do often. I like if it comes, with everything, rather
Yeah,
than
complete is
not
great.
everything. I think so, but still, in the end, if you own a figure and you have enough accessories already, I mean, it's still cool. But still, I think it's cool to have everything. Urgh. Okay, looks like they didn't get into this box.
I love Mutant Mayhem, just to respond to Ben there. I absolutely love Mutant Mayhem.
Whoa, who's next?
Whoa! It's Charbroil's best friend.
Oh my goodness, weird. Wow. Okay, so we have two of the Slaws Marauders.
Barbecue!
Barbecue, I'll clean up your mess, Charbroil. Don't worry. They won't burn for much longer. They'll suffer not much
Why is he
longer when
Aussie?
I'm around.
What's the
Oh, I don't
Australian?
know. You became Aussie because Paul started with Aussie.
Barbie. That's
Barbie.
right.
I'm doing a Barbie.
Do you think he walks up to people? Do you think he, like, when he goes out clubbing, he walks up to women and he's like, "Are you a Barbie girl?
Barbecue.
Wannabe?"
Oh my goodness. Paul, hit us with
Yeah.
another Heberg. Come on.
I don't
Come
think
on.
there are any more Hebergs in here, but hey, who knows?
No, Paul, come on.
Yeah, let's go. I'm on the.
So far, I've been the most true to this show. And Andrew's been most true to GI Joburg.
Yeah, I think.
But maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
You're the
I'm-
truest
let's
G.I.
see if
Joe.
I've got-
I
Let's
am
see if
the
I've got GI Joe stuff. I don't know. It doesn't feel like
We're
it,
gonna
if
find
that
out.
makes sense.
About to find out.
I'm gonna grab. This is the last of the small boxes, I would say.
Hmm.
And it says Power Rangers on it, and it's a Super 7 Putty Patroller.
That's the GI Joe. It's a trick, Paul. Trick.
No, it's very much a Putty Patroller, and it's got that
Ooh.
that Super 7, that fancy Super 7 packaging where you slip it off like that. Boom. So guys, like normally, like this is not something I would like go for, but admittedly, I have looked at this figure, specifically the Putty Patroller, a few times, because it
Well,
comes
I
with
mean,
so
he's
much
kind of
gear.
like the most basic of the, like enemies that the Power Rangers face. I think, it's not
Exactly,
really one
right?
that you automatically go, oh, I want to get that guy. But it looks like he comes with a ton of really cool accessories. And at
And
least now
that's why I kept looking at him, because he comes with like a hat. He's got the variation face with the Lord Z armor. He's got like effect hands. He's
looks like
got
he has handcuffs
like
too.
a neck. Yeah, he's got little handcuffy things, like little. And then he's got a football jersey in there. He's pretty loaded with gear, and that always gets me excited because, you can always bring that into like other toys or like use cool stuff like this for toy photography. There's even like a bit of a clown look to him with like one of those clown collar things. That's very scary. I think I might even pose him like that. But yeah, this is again the kind of toy that I looked at and I thought this is really interesting, but would never have pulled the trigger on. And for me, these are the best kind of surprises because now I'm like I get to own this toy and enjoy this toy without, like without having to make that sacrifice. So thank you, Andrew. This is actually very, very cool and a very welcome surprise. And I never anticipated I'd have this many Power Rangers figures because I only have one, but now I have two. Sweet. Okay, Robbo.
So
I think how many boxes have you got
I
left
have
there?
3 more boxes left. Before we move on, though, Ben was quite taken with the Slaughter's Marauders figures that I've unboxed, and he's like, "Did we get those in the UK? Were they internationally released, or were they just like exclusive?" to the
They
States?
didn't. They didn't make it past the United States, as far as I'm concerned. Which is ironic because they weren't exclusives. They weren't like Night Force, which is exclusive to Toys R Us North America. So it's anybody's guess why we got Tiger Force but not Slaughter's Marauders. But yeah, in the UK, the Slaughter's Marauders Lowlight was released as the sort of the standard release of Lowlights.
Yeah, he points that out.
Yeah.
He was like, I thought that was just the way that Lowlight looked. Wild.
And the
Absolutely
UK got interesting versions of Spirit and Mutt. They weren't Slaughter's Marauders, but they weren't the standard first edition versions either. They had sort of
wild.
We spoke about this before, but Spirit had that sort of charcoal grey with the red crisscross sort of patterns.
Yeah, that
and
super cool one.
Mutt and Junkyard were like very much darker color palette, like dark blue, black.
The late night version of Putty with the handcuffs. Putty,
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Now,
the
now I
clown-
know. I was like,
Was it
that's
a
actually a lot
frill?
of fun.
I
Like
think
a
there was
frill
a
Yeah,
little
it's
of
frill
neck
going
It's
on.
like a frill. It looks like a Dilophosaurus, and then he's got cuffs. It's actually got like, like suit cuffs, like Playboy bunny cuffs.
That's wild. Okay, so he's ready for
or
to go
Chippendale
party.
cuffs if you prefer. It's really up to you.
Maybe. Who knows?
The putties were gimps, dude. They were all about that late night action.
That's the sound they made.
Okay, let
every
me
time they
race
got
to
hit,
the
bang!
end. Let me race
Sorry,
to the
Rob.
end of my the end of
Why
my
race?
Oh, I don't want to race, but I'm super excited because like these boxes have been so good so far. Okay, so let's see what the next box is. Oh wow, the whole thing's coming out. Oh, wow, there's like 2 things in there. Oh no, it's just okay. So this is a very big thing. Ah, here are the non-Transformers toys.
Oh my god. Wow, those are very cool, Rob. I am super envious of you, like right now. Just saying.
What are they?
They are
What are
the
they, Paul?
Evangelion G-frame figures, and what's cool is that like Rob's got them as a dual set, so you're getting the frame and the armor set in one box. So it's kind of like I don't want to say model kits, but they do feel a bit like model kits, but they technically
but
can
you
be
can kind of
toys.
like pop them together, and you can be like cool and
pop them
creative,
together,
and make
yeah.
your own versions.
So the whole idea of the frame and the whole reason that they separated is that you can get one which has kind of got limited posability and it looks nice, but if you want to like pose it up, then you get the frame which also comes with 1 or 2 additional weapons and
This
some
is
stuff.
so cool.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
And what's wild is today, actually, I randomly clicked on a video. I think it was from a channel called Mega 6434 or something. And they did
Yeah.
a live action reenactment of the entire Neon Genesis
Genesis
Evangelion
Evangelion.
story, but live action. and they kind
Oh
of like
shit! I gotta
condensed
see
it.
that.
It was absolutely hilarious. It was so funny, and I'm amazed actually. Like this, the universe is saying something right now. I should have
Dude,
listened. I should have
Evangelion's
known.
awesome, man. I love Evangelion.
Whoa, this is insane. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I don't think so.
You're too busy playing your toys.
Just like my son.
Oh, does he not sleep anymore, Stephen? Does he stay up all night?
Guys, I'm loving this Power Rangers turtle. This
That
turtle
Power
Ranger.
Ranger is freaking cool, dude.
Freaking
Absolutely
amazing. So good.
Ooh, I also got some of the cool honeycomb stuff.
Stuffies. Is it GI Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what
Yeah.
that is.
What is it, Paul?
That is a
Ooh.
Gundam figure.
Gundam Universe.
There we go. It's the Gundam Universe line. They're non-scale, but they kind of like Bandai's answer to things like, or to the classified, like the 6-inch figure craze. That's
Yeah.
their answer to it.
So they're basically
So-
pre-built.
Yeah, but they're not.
Oh,
But they're
sexy.
action figures. Make no mistake. But they're very good. They sit nicely in the middle range there, as they're solid figures. They're not like sort of like their Tamashi stuff, like their anime stuff, but
this is proper cool.
They're very
It
good.
is Wing Gundam,
Gundam, yeah.
from Wing
or
Gundam.
Gundam, yeah.
Oh,
Very nice, Rob.
yeah.
Please take that out of the box at some point tonight. I'd love to see you mess with articulation, because those are really cool. Don't you guys have those at the shop as well?
We do actually. This will be
Yeah.
my first experience with actually having one out of the packaging. So I'll actually be able to speak to them better. So it looks like I started Joburg and I ended on Joburg, unless this last box is Joburg themed. Seems
Joe.
Paul is going to end Joburg, or I'm guessing is. Okay, next box. If I throw this aside, what is it, Paul? What is it?
Oh, that is something you have a model kit of.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I have a good
Got
guy.
something
and
for
I
your
have a
Wing
bad
Gundam
guy.
to kill. Yeah.
Okay, it is a Oz 06 MS Leo.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
The grunt suits of the Wing universe. That's a lot of. Well, I mean, with the model kit, I'm sure I remember you saying you had a lot of fun with the kit. So
Oh, the kit was fantastic to build.
yeah, so
Um,
the toy is awesome. It just won't fall apart.
Exactly. Now I won't
Model
actually have
kits
to
are
worry
nice to play
about.
with, but they are fragile. So
Oh yeah. Andrew,
very
absolutely
nice, Rob.
amazing. I also have my little pieces of wrapping paper that survived the customs assault. I appreciate the effort. Like I think it would have been so much cooler to be able to unwrap these. But I still absolutely incredibly. I'm blown, mind blown. Like, thank you so much, Andrew. Like you've made the start of my year amazing. Like everyone is like Tim, Andrew, these guys, the people down here in the chats. 2024, guys, it's a good year. It's a good year.
Yeah.
Toys. All right,
It's a good
are
year
we
for
in the
Manuel
clear?
Gossett.
Hello,
No,
Emmanuel.
we're not.
Oh my goodness, Paul
Yeah.
still got some
I
stuff.
still got boxes.
Yeah, he does.
I was,
I was
uh,
racing to the end.
I was
line,
hoping
so-
Rob was going to pace himself between that box, but
No, I
yeah,
couldn't
looks like
do it. I couldn't do it.
I got
I was too
three
excited.
to open quickly. So
Whoa! You can do it, Paul. I believe in you.
there's like a medium one here. Let's go for it.
Do it. End on a big splash.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the chat.
Another Power Ranger.
Ah,
That's cool.
another Rob.
Something to kick the
That's
putty's butt. Guys, this is very cool. The putty's rad, but this is super rad. The Red
What is
Ranger.
it, Paul?
The
Ooh.
Red Ranger. Yay! Check it out.
This is
Uh,
awesome. You can have your Red Rangers fight each other.
You can. And look at all the accessories. So it's got Red Ranger sword, got the toy version, the old toy version of the blaster. Then you
Cool.
got this fancy version of the blaster, which it looks like it's transformable. Yeah, it's got 2 different states, and they're more scaled.
It better be.
And it's got the Green Ranger's sword/flute. That makes me very happy. And it's got, yeah, I can never remember the name. Oh, geez, and it's got the armor as well in there. Like, so the Green Ranger's armor, which the Red Ranger also gets to wear at one point. And there looks like there's some other, like, interesting pieces in there. There's like another arm in there. Crazy. Oh, with like a gold.
Is there
band.
a Jason and a Rocky head, Paul?
It's Jason and Rocky. Thank you so much, because I could only
Amazing.
remember Jason. Jason! So that's cool. Yeah, so it's Jason and Rocky. So you get the porn star and the... I think one of them was ended up being a porn star. Like, no judgment, just one of them was. And
Something
then
happened?
something did happen.
We'll leave that to
And-
your imagination, whether it's Jason or Rocky, dear audience.
I'm not sure which one it is. And then there's this box here, which is...
I want to know
sizable.
if he did any Power Rangers porn parodies.
I'm
mean,
pretty sure he did.
It would be a wasted slot if you didn't. Just use that
Guys,
infamy.
this is madness. Here's a toy I would never buy in my life ever, but it's actually really cool to have.
Make my monsters growl!
Yeah,
It's Rita Repulsa,
Exactly.
everybody. My
Yeah.
goodness.
From
and
the Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. So now I've got the Power Rangers final boss. Check in them pointy boobs. Okay, like it's amazing.
Cut glass.
That is insane. And it looks like she's got. I mean, she's got soft cloth, soft goods for the dress, and chains. There's chains. There's actually little actual change. The change. Yeah, maybe there is change in here.
Changed. And
Change is
she's got
possible.
chains.
So who's
Hey,
leading the
guys.
charge in your various gifts, Paul? Is it Power Rangers, Teen and MT, or what was the thing? He-Man.
When I show you the last thing, you're gonna see what the winner is.
Mm.
So okay, so this was in the box. It didn't have wrapping on. It was very obvious what it was. I did a little backflip when I saw this. I'm very
And you
excited
just
about
assumed
this.
it was for
and I'm
you?
going to put it on
Come
screen
on.
now. This is what it is. It's another Power Rangers thing.
Whoa.
Okay, but it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex, or the Tyrannosaurus Lord. And this is something I was actually very close to buying recently. And I'm glad that I didn't, because, yeah, this is magic for me.
May I just say that the boxes for these toys are amazing. They all have a slipcase
So sexy.
with like the
Super
gold
8
coin.
is insanely cool.
So this is super sexy. I mean, look at it. It's the red Rex. It's got 2 miniature Red Rangers. So they're to scale with the Ranger. Then, as Steve mentioned, it's got the coin there. That's awesome. And it's a giant T-Rex mech, which is that's right up my alley. So Andrew, dude, thank you very, very, very much. I have more Power Rangers toys now than I've ever had in my whole life, ever. And that's
You
great.
put it out into the universe, Paul, at Comic-Con Africa last year, where you got your White Ranger, your Tiger Ranger, and now suddenly, it's just like, universe is like, you shall have more Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, apparently.
It might come as
that's
a
it,
surprise, but people actually do listen to our ramblings. And
is
in
madness.
Andrew's case, take notes. My goodness. Jeez.
So,
Absolutely insane.
this is wonderful. Like, Andrew, thank you very much, man. I'm dying to rip that T-Rex out of its box and play and do all kinds of cool stuff with it, because the original release when we were kids was always lacking.
What do you
was
mean
just-
lacking?
It was great that it's part of the transformation.
Absolutely incredible. Steven had the Dragon Zord.
I did too,
we
Dave
didn't
and I
care
as well.
At all about the figures.
My
but the-
Dragon Zord would
Zord
spread his legs and jump on your Megazord's face to make the super combined orgy mode.
Yep, that was a cool mode though, but it's just that.
Oh,
individually they
Bandai.
weren't-
It was real cool
weren't
for the
too exciting.
Megazord.
But
Dragon
Yeah,
Zord got the
cool
better
to
end
have
of the
that.
deal there, I think. Watch my tail
but,
grow.
that-
Guys,
because the thing is, it
shall
goes
we
full
shift the
pretty.
focus a little bit
Whoa.
and
Cartoons.
and talk about some cartoons? It's been a while since we
It
had some
has.
cartoons to pass judgment on.
I can't even
We got
remember
two.
where we got up to.
Well, we got two
we
absolute
still
bangers
watching?
this time. Paul, do you want to address that comment?
Was Make My Monster Grow the title of the Red Ranger's later film endeavor? It should have
Thank
been.
you,
It should have been.
G7M9W.
G7
Hell yeah.
nailed it.
Nice.
Hell
So,
yeah.
on the slate, as it were, to review in this episode, we got the Phantom Brigade from the classic Sunburst series. And we've got the Brothers of the Light, which is the introduction of Tomax and Zaymot from Renegades.
Very interesting introduction. Just
What are you guys feeling?
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, so
Bad or
when you
worse?
first see-
I don't know. Let's find out.
When
Shots
I saw
fired.
the title, I was like, it took me a while to click that it would be Zaymot and Tomax. Let's put it that way. Because I had
Interesting.
totally forgotten that this episode existed. It's
Okay,
weird.
well, let's get that one out of the way. I thought you
Yeah, let's-
knew that it was Tomax and Zaymot because you tipped me off that this upcoming episode was a Tomax and Zaymot introduction.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
that's just because I had watched this episode in advance by accident, thinking that we had gotten here already
Right.
a while back.
You were just too excited for Renegades. I get it. I
I
get it.
was,
Guys,
and
this one threw me
Sorry.
for a loop because this is probably the most left turn I've seen the Renegades show take in terms of a character introduction. Because Tomax and Zaymot aren't suit-wearing, like, execs, company owners, like, multi-billionaires. They are cult leaders.
Yeah.
They are using their psychic powers to hypnotize their followers into, like, basically giving up their bank accounts and their trust funds. And the case of Mindbender, Dude, bizarre. It's a bizarre retelling of these characters. And I must say, in the wins column for this episode, the fact that I couldn't see what was coming next, like I had no idea how things would resolve, it was uncharted territory for me. So kudos to this episode for surprising me. What did you guys think?
I don't want to tip my hand too early, but I
Paul.
do love that that the actual like Zaymot and Tomax introduction here in some ways kind of supersedes their originals. For me at least, I like the idea of them like being these cult leaders, these like, spiritual.
They
white
have
boys.
this vast desert oasis, like a massive river. They must have diverted a lot of tributaries to make that, sort of that lake. And they've got this huge, like, citadel and domed structure. Anyway, the Joes, the Renegades, are cruising around in their coyote, and they come across a woman who's been hypnotized. She's bearing a patch that they then trace back to this desert oasis, so they return her to the
Very
cult.
Texas Chainsaw
essentially.
Massacre, by the way.
Totally. And then encounter the brothers, the Corsican twins. Though, for the life of me, I couldn't place their accents. They kind of had a pseudo, I don't know, Eastern, maybe Nepalese. They were channeling some of that.
Yeah, it did feel very like Eastern, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of the vibe of the cult as well feels kind of like Eastern as well. Like open up your mind to the possibilities and
Yeah, there's lots of
join us
ayahuasca
now.
being done there.
But
Whoa.
they decided, I don't know if this was an error that then just was like taken through to completion, but they've swapped the brothers. So classically, Zaymot is the scarred brother, Tomax is the unscarred. But here they do their introductions and it's Tomax with the scar.
I think that's a whoopsie.
Is there significance to that, or that was a whoopsie? Okay.
I think that's a whoopsie.
Or maybe just a way of stamping that this is a different universe, this is a different continuity. What's the easiest way to do that? Let's switch them.
Swap them around. Yeah.
But yeah, these guys bear very little resemblance to the twins that, as we know them.
Yeah.
And they find a
high-flying,
roundabout-
literally businessmen.
Yeah. Very high. It was the 80s, man. They were doing a lot of coke. But these guys have this kind of hypnotic ability, particularly when they're close together. So they put a number on Duke, zap him first. And he's like, okay, I guess we'll spend the night. And the Joes are delighted. They've been on the road for so long that, I don't know, have any of them had a shower recently? They're complaining about tunnel rats BO, but I'm pretty sure even Scarlett has a bit of a pong at this stage. She's only so happy to get into bed. Roadblock, of course, loves the cuisine. Tunnel rat is the skeptic. He's like, I don't know about this, guys.
I don't trust this stuff, guys.
And I must admit, like, while that is in character for Tunnel Rats, it's pretty out of character for how quickly the other Joe's like, I mean, Scarlett's supposed to be the conspiracy theorist, but she's like, I just want a comfy bed. I'm so delighted to be here.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, when you see this place for the first time, it's just like, this is kind of unbelievable. There's this giant oasis, there's this huge temple and a domed place. It's like, how are you not all skeptical of this place? It's just they have to be not skeptical for the story to keep going, essentially.
Yep. Very convenient kind of character transplants. Anyway.
And they're all high on themselves. Oh my god.
Tomix and Zaymot have the kind of relief on the wall of them, like in togas with swords and muscles rippling. Very sword and sandal depiction of the brothers. So, but guys, I have a question for you. Is the geography of Renegades the United States, or is this kind of a loose world that we're in? Because Mindbender's traveling, presumably the world, to find mystics and psychics in order to find a way to gain control of the biovipers. Very convoluted. But he figures that having a psychic will untap a sort of a mind control of these biomechanical, these slime beasts that he's created, basically, for Cobra Commander to then mind control them. Anyways, he's going to all these kind of crackpot mystics and psychics and whatnots. Is this place where he finds this kind of like this crackpot? Is this the United States? Looks like some kind of fair.
I imagine it is.
It's
probably like LA.
Yeah, somewhere in
Somewhere
LA,
in LA.
somewhere on the West Coast. Because I don't think this guy would kind of like make. It's more interesting to an American setting that he's acting so exotic. He's kind of like a little schwammy guy. He's sitting in his tent. I'd like to think it's American. I mean, the rest of the setting that they are in kind of feels more fake-ish. There's kind of like a stage set up. There's kind of a couple of like it's almost like a traveling circus, actually.
Anyways, turns out this guy's not the real deal, and Mindbender zaps him with his cattle prod and flies off.
It's very convenient. He's looking for a psychic when we suddenly discover these psychics.
Oh yeah, I mean,
true.
G7 actually mentioned there was a guru who had a whole town in Oregon in the 80s. So like. Yes, that's what I think this is. It's some kind of like a commune town kind of thing that that somebody set up, and
Snake Eyes is conveniently everywhere because he notices Mindbender flying off and warns the Joes that Mindbender's on the hunt for psychics, just like Tomix and Zaymot. So expect his arrival imminently. All very convenient. But anyways, let's get past that. As I say, this had some surprising turns. Of course, 3 of the Joes get brainwashed, and Tunnel Rat is now the kind of the outsider who's trying to snap them out of it. What I didn't expect to see as a nod was that Tomix and Zaymot want to use the Joes as the sort of their armed sort of militant group. They want to basically upscale their bodyguards, and they decide to call them Crimson Guardsmen.
Yeah. That was an
cool
interesting
explanation for that in the lore as well.
You like it?
I think that. Yeah, I like that.
I prefer the idea of Crimson Guardsmen as willing participants. Like, anytime you bring brainwashing into a plot line, it's just it's a Chekhov's gun of like, of course it's going to be undone, and the whole thing is going to collapse like a house of cards because the character's basically working against their own will. And the power of will can be, it's flexible, it's strong. So it's like, it's a pretty feeble foundation to have the Crimson Guard based upon. That the only thing keeping them loyal to you is your brainwashing of them. As it happens in this. I mean, can you guys tell me how Duke was able to defeat his brainwashing? Because at one point he kind of like gives a wink to Tunnel Rat, saying like, "Divide and conquer." He lets Tunnel Rat in on the fact that he's not actually brainwashed. But I didn't get that at all. Like, where was the instance where he is shown to be resistant of it?
Didn't he just not get his head knocked? I mean, like near the end of the episode, there's the big kerfuffle. He's gonna like save the girl. I think he gets his head knocked, and like suddenly he realizes, that's where he gives him the wink. He's like they're fighting each other, and suddenly like, everything's fine. I'm on your side still. So I think he gets his head knocked.
Okay.
But I think it is true what you're saying. Like when it is willpower based, I mean, often these things, at least the way they're based, is you can't go completely against your own impulses. So I think a lot of the people that do work for them are obviously just happy to work. I mean, you're not driving them to do something that they wouldn't be willing to do otherwise.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
In general,
true. A lot of us need a leader. We are sheeple. I'm pretty tickled by the scene where they've brainwashed Dr. Mindbender and they've just got him giving up
That is
all.
my favorite thing.
All of his sort
love
of
that.
illicit Cobra funds. He's sort of
That's what
transferring
you.
them. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah, that's
also,
probably
guys,
my favorite scene.
Listen, don't just think that like willpower and all that stuff is just like easy. By the way, people like Jim Jones was successful for a while, and people did not resist him. And even afterwards, there was lots of months and years for some people to be deprogrammed. Don't think that your willpower is that great. It can be chipped away.
Yeah, look, the mind control thing is perhaps a little bit too convenient and too immediate, but
It's very tropey.
perhaps in the traditional Crimson Guard, it's also a form of brainwashing. It's that like militarized, like swear your allegiance here and go through all the rituals, and you are a card-carrying member of the Crimson Guardsmen.
In a circle.
So it's different forms of brainwashing, but brainwashing nonetheless.
Yeah, I think the way that we kind of were thinking about it is more of kind of like
massage.
willpower in the sense of like stories and media, rather than kind of like real world kind of like willpower.
Seems the brainwashing has its limits, though. They capture Snake Eyes and expose him to the light. Scarlet takes his mask off, so that speaks to the fact that she's seen his face, or sees his face on the regular. I mean, they did train together, so...
Yeah.
Snake Eyes in this retelling is Scarlet's sensei. Interesting. Do you think they're love interests as well?
Whoa. There hasn't been any evidence of that so far in the show. So
True, I wonder if there will be.
Well,
but... Of course, Snake Eyes was faking it. He has the mental fortitude to resist
He's a Rashikage, bro.
the brainwashing. And he helps Tunnel Rat break out of prison. I love the fact that the Joes, while brainwashed, look like these tranquil, like Hindu cows.
they look so happy.
They're so happy. So happy to capture their former teammate.
Join us.
Anyways, guys, we're going to rinse to the end. As you said, the kerfuffle breaks out. Tunnel Rat is able to climb to the top of the tower and take out their mind control obelisk, whatever you want to call it, pyramid.
Or some sort of artifact.
It's revealed that just simply amplifies their power and that their power is inherent. But Duke gives Tunnel Rat the wink, and Tunnel Rat is able to fight the twins and separate them because they need to be physically close for the spell to not be broken. And that wraps up the episode with the twins escaping with Dr. Mindbender and becoming associates of Cobra Command. They wanted to they'll give up their secrets of mind control for a price. But Mindbender has other plans. He just straps him to a table and starts getting the information he needs out his way.
Why should I pay you when I can just, strap you to a
Zap
table
you.
and take it from you? Yeah, it's kind of cool how he is. Yeah, he is very much a villain. It's like, okay, what you did to me, now I'm. It's fair play is Turn
Absolutely
the
fair
face.
play. I was like, yeah, take that, twins. Now, I've never been the biggest fan of Tomex and Zamots. I don't know if this endeared me to them, but as I said before, it certainly kept me guessing.
Yeah, it's a fairly fun episode, but I mean, obviously, like the minute they get mind bent, you kind of understand that they are going to come back at some point. But it's interesting take on the twins and kind of like focusing more on like what is it about them that could be mystical, and how do we factor that into the bigger story that we're currently trying to tell in our season, where Mindbender is trying to find ways of controlling the biovipers. So it was a cool introduction. It's cool that they're actually used inside the story. It's not just like, oh, there's, I don't know, there's a random Joe that we just met and we'll never see again, at least not in this season. So it's cool that they are actually part of the story going forward.
And in many respects, and this is tapping into something in the chats, it's kind of hybridizing the twins with Crystal Ball. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a Crystal Ball introduction in Renegades, Paul. Was there anything like that?
I don't recall that, man.
And if there was, it would be made redundant by this appearance of the twins.
Yeah, by this appearance.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting it all smooshed
If
into
we
one.
were going to get Crystal Ball, they could have done it as that Swami guy earlier in the episode, actually. It's kind of like a fake out. That would have been a great little cameo.
So great, actually.
We don't get a name for that guy, so maybe he was.
Maybe he was. Who knows?
At some point, this is a 22-minute cartoon. Some things had to be cut. So maybe at some point in the planning phase, they wanted to use a kind of Crystal Ball-ish fake out. Maybe.
Crystal Ball-ish.
I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 because it had some intrigue. It is a very un-Joe story for me, and I typically don't like that. But when I watch a piece of GI Joe media and it holds some surprises for me, that's going to get my attention.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. 3 out of 5. It's kind of like, it's not the same episode we've been getting recently, where it's just like, oh, they arrive at a place, something happens. They arrive at a place, something happens. Like, yes, that does happen in this one, but it kind of like, it stretches out a little bit further, and it also does feed into the greater story that seems to be occurring in the arc of the show itself. So 3 out of 5. It's inoffensive, so I'm not upset by the time I finish watching it.
I give it a strong 4 out of 5, mostly because I love the dynamics, the cult dynamics. I think that's a very cool thing.
Paul likes cults. You heard it first here.
I hate cults, but I find them fascinating. And I always like it when they're kind of represented in a cartoon in a way that it's kind of like, aside from the giant obelisk, it's kind of representative. It's close. It's honest in a lot of ways, which I appreciate. I like the twist on the twins. The twins are great. And let me put it to you this way. We've been reading the new GI Joe book, and it's going to sound like I'm going to throw shade on that. And for me, this as a GI Joe story was a little bit more interesting than Cobra Zombies. So, yeah. So I kind of,
which I'm still wondering where that's going, what significance has it got, but we'll cover that in our
We'll get to that when we get there. But for me, it was just really like refreshing to have this episode. Like I was expecting another, like as you guys said earlier, another episode of they get to the town, what shenanigans have gone down now, which redesign Cobra is causing problems now.
It's the A-Team.
And then,
it's the A-Team.
Yeah.
Didn't the A-Team ever tackle the cult? I feel like they must have.
I'm sure they did. I never watched that show.
Oh.
How very dare you.
6 p.m. on a Saturday evening. I couldn't
really
miss it.
Yes.
Well, unless you have sports watchers in the household. I remember distinctly having to go elsewhere.
Cricket, one TV in the house. Yeah. And the whole police force over at your house watching rugby. Yeah, you weren't going to watch A-Team, bro. You
have the A-Team at your
boy.
They did go up against the cult.
Yeah.
So,
of course
well
they
remembered, Steve. Well
I don't think if I remembered or was just playing the odds because
must have happened.
Everything had that. Yeah.
So the irony is this absolutely is a trope that you would expect to find in an A-Team kind of story. But
Yeah.
it being G.I. Joe, it being the twins presented in this strange way, okay, it's not a superior way, but it is an interesting and valid read of the characters, I think, to make them cult leaders.
Yeah, it's a different take, and it's yeah, as I said, inoffensive. You know, it kind of
And it expands on their psychic link a little bit in a more useful way. Yes, sure,
Yeah.
they still feel each other's pain, but what is the extension of that? What other mind control tricks might they be able to manifest?
They do.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a little bit of a like something like a bit of a Mandela effect thing here quickly?
Whoa.
Please.
So when
Throw
I
that
watched this
Mandela.
episode, like what? It was actually like last year in December.
Mhm.
And then I watched it again 2 weeks ago. But then the Duke comic came out and Cobra comic came out, so we like kind of
So much good stuff happened.
And I watched this episode, and I can't remember seeing this episode. I mean, I was watching these episodes when they were coming out. At the time, I was on various websites, His Tank, whatever, when guys were discussing them. And I seem to remember this whole thing being them as acrobats, not as mind control.
Wow, that is a very
How weird is
different
that, right?
memory that you're having there.
Yeah,
Well,
and that is a bit weird. Like I don't know where that comes from, because there is some GI Joe lore that does paint them as acrobats.
yeah, their comic book first appearance.
Yeah,
They were at a
Yeah.
circus.
cartoons as well.
But I don't
But I
know
think the
what it
clearest
is.
explanation is, Paul, you've been hypnotized.
Got him. Got him.
Got him. Guys, we also watched the Phantom Brigade. What a delight. But I'm not going to lead the charge on this one, and I'm going to nominate my man Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
Do it.
Let me just. I gotta put this damn toy down, man. It's just too much
Do
fun.
it, Paul. Put it down.
This,
Written by
man.
Shaman Devono. It's a name that I haven't
Shaman
recognized.
Divono. Okay, so guys, can I just put this out here? Just you need the backstory here. I really used to hate this episode. Like
Whoa.
when I got my GI Joe box set, I really hated this episode. Like I was like, "Oh,
You're like,
please
"Yep."
give me more. Like I want to see a Tomahawk. I want to see a more like vehicles." I was, after having watched the entire series and whatever, I've come full circle on it, and I'm like, I really do love this episode. So please,
Wow.
you're gonna get you're gonna get some praise from me on
Some
this one.
real gushing from Paul about this episode.
Some real gushing. So
Ooh.
anyway, this base is being attacked by Cobra because they can't.
Why not? Of course.
Because
Why wouldn't
Cobra can't convince them to rely on Cobra's like assets or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, it's a munitions depot in Romania.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Or
called the-
Transcarpathia.
Costco Munitions Factory.
Yeah.
It's being attacked by Major Blood in a Fang and a squadron of Firebats.
Very
which
cool
are
looking fire.
Grey
they're-
Avax.
They're
Yeah.
Grey Firebats. They are
Firebats,
interchangeably
what do I call them?
called Stingers. Did you guys notice that?
I did notice that, and I thought maybe it was a
No.
mistake.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
The prototype name for the Firebat was the Stinger.
Oh.
So is this maybe like pre when the toys came out? Maybe.
This would have aired in October of '85, I think. Either November,
Cool.
September, October, around about there. So this is pre the production of the Terradrome. But I believe the Firebat was they were teetering on the idea of it being a single release, but then included it as a sort of bonus vehicle with the Terradrome, or they built the Terradrome around the Firebat.
Yeah.
And the gimmick.
But I mean, as it's kind of established in our recent episodes where we talk about toys that we all have, it seems a lot of the time prototypes of these things have existed long enough ahead of the toy coming out that those prototypes end up in the episodes, in the cartoons
Well, this
themselves.
probably was beyond the prototype phase. This was a finalized toy that just didn't go into mass production because, yeah, they wanted to maybe sell it as a single thing, and it would have been grey. At least at that imaginings, at that stage of its imagining, it was grey. So yeah, the animation was able to proceed with an almost finalized model sheet,
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
and it would have
As
been called
So we got-
the Stinger.
So we got Cobra bullying the October God. I'm kidding.
As you should.
And we're not sure how this is going to work out. And then all of a sudden, the Joes come in to come and save them. I always thought this was quite. There's this great like little bit of dialogue between the general and the sort of
And Ivan.
Ivan. It's very sweet. But anyway, yeah. Thankfully, the Joes come in. And they come and save Ivan's ass. Scarlet is it is Scarlet, yeah. It is Scarlet that's piloting because that's right. And then the rest of the Joes are leading a ground assault. Cover, dudes. This like, there's this moment that it makes me laugh every time I hear it. It's when Cover Girl kind of chirps Scarlet, and she's like,
yeah.
"Duke's here with me," and I'm like, "Damn, Duke." Yes.
Is Duke playing both Scarlet and Covergirl?
Dude, I don't know. I just, knowing the situation better, I feel like Scarlet and Covergirl are playing Duke.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's not
I
Mr.
think it's
Right. He's
both.
Mr. Right now. Like he's a bicycle.
Exactly. He's Mr. in the way. He's even sitting there going, "What?"
Give me that.
What
give me
did you
that
say?
damn microphone, woman.
But to be fair, he
Let me
is the
do my
damn in
job.
the space all the time. So, yeah, cool to see Covergirl, and that's one of the highlights of this episode for me is how many interesting characters and vehicles you actually get in this episode. Covergirl being one of them, and then
Very
another
interesting
being a
vehicle.
snow serpent that you see later.
Yeah.
But anyway, all of this rubbish happens. Cobra is like annoyed because he's all like, you guys are a bunch of cowards. Like I need a solution, and so what they go and do is they go and scare up what they call a gypsy queen, and he's going to now tap into the dark arts. And Baroness is all like,
Because he
"You
wants
do not
soldiers.
know what forces you trifle with," kind of vibe.
Cobra
Sorry.
Commander wants soldiers who don't fear death, because his troops are constantly retreating. In fact, there's a great line that the AVAC has in an exchange with Blood, and he's like, "You're being paid to fight, not run away." And the AVAC's like, "Yeah, but you can't spend it when you're 6 feet under." Zhoof, and flies off.
Ooh. If
So-
only he had known the
Bit of
gypsy queen was
foreshadowing.
coming.
Yeah, exactly. You're out of a job, pal, because we're going to bring back the dead. 3 objects that she has, each from a fallen warrior. And the way the law works is they have to be either stabbed in the back or betrayed, or they died tragically, I think.
Yeah,
They have to be restless spirits.
Mm.
Restless.
yeah, because then their spirits are still tied to this plane.
A coin from a Roman centurion, a locket or a ring from a Mongolian sort of female horseback riding warrior, which is cool, and then a locket from a World War I American aviator,
Whoa.
which interesting. And each of them seem to have their own like unique powers. So
Yeah.
the horseback riding Mongolian warrioress shoots like freeze arrows. The centurion has like magneto powers. I don't know. He can kind of pull quick kick swords out, and he can make iron sheets like fly through the air and
Yeah,
stuff
all
like
3 of Quick Kick swords, I may add.
that. Overkill, Paul.
Jeez, a little bit, like a bit much. And over on his left shoulder, it's very strange.
And the Spad or whatever, the Newport that the American aviator's flying shoots like ghost flame.
The ghost light. And then
Very
it got
scary.
these very angry flames, which it's so anime this actually in a lot of ways too. It's a little bit of Ghostbusters, a little bit of anime. Yeah.
And the Joe's like, what
really-
the actual F?
And guys, it's No Job.
Yep,
Yay,
Snowjob has a
Snowjob in
cameo.
this
He even has a
episode.
few. He's got a handful of lines, but
Yeah. And even Snake Eyes is in this episode. Like he's there behind.
yeah, Snake Eyes
Yvonne.
unfortunately didn't get a line.
No, he usually
And then we
does.
got like what I think is the most boringest popular GI Joe vehicle, the APC. Anyway, moving along. There's a
Oh,
slugger.
Shots fired.
I think the slug is pretty
fired.
boring, to be honest. Shots
It
fired
is
indeed.
also
More
boring.
shots fired. Oh my goodness.
Come at me,
Oh,
slugger
there's
fans.
Quicksilver on screen now with one of his 3 swords. He's very well equipped.
And I love that these two have like a bit of banter. These two being Quick Kick and the Centurion. Like it's great that they have like they build a bit of rapport amongst each other. It's not like vengeful, hateful fighting, you know. Which I quite like. It was
Honorable fighting. If it was honorable, the ghost should have had a proper sword fight. Instead, he just pulls
he
out his
wouldn't have
magneto
used
no
his
such
powers.
thing as
powers.
honorable fighting.
Ah.
Well, they're not
just like that they-
antagonistic necessarily towards each
Yeah.
other just for the sake of being antagonistic. It's like he's been ordered to do this thing. He's obviously he's pleased to be fighting again, you know.
There you go.
But he's not
And-
being overly villainous. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, he's
Yeah,
just
it's
happy
like-
to be
it's
fighting
still-
again.
Exactly, and it sells that he's not a villain. You know, he's just a
Mhm.
soldier following orders, as is Quick Kick. There's no animosity between each other. They're just fighting. They're having fun.
Cobra
They're
Commander's
like, hey,
delighted with the progress and says like, well, Baroness, you might be out of a job too if these spooky soldiers work out. She's pissed off about that, obviously. So naturally she betrays Cobra Commander and lets the Joes in on the secret. And I like the fact that the Joes are skeptical. They don't buy it, but they're like, well, at least she gives us the location of Cobra's base. So whether
Yeah,
you
that's
believe
good
in
enough.
this explanation of these things being actual ghosts or not, we have a tangible lead to follow up on and attack.
Well, this is a very interesting story as well. I mean, we very recently had a similar story with Destro, kind of like turning face. But once again, it was in his own interests. You know, he was offended by what Cobra Commander did to him by turning him into like a
Synthoid.
And in this case, it's like Baroness is like, whoa, I do not agree with the way that Cobra Commander is going about this, and also he's threatening my illegal
Job security.
job, So
job security.
I also, by the way, when we eventually get to our Firebat episode, Viper Scout has corrected us. The Firebat appeared in the year before in Light Camera Cobra.
That's Camera Cobra. Yeah,
So-
the prototype.
Yeah, the prototype version. So we must remember that when we do our Firebat episode.
Oh, something to mention. I also dig that the Joe's initial reaction to the ghosts is not that, oh my god, they're ghosts. They're like, they're not like roasts. They think that they're possibly holograms or some kind of like advanced technology, which is very cool. I dig that. I love that they didn't just jump on the whole ghost train thing in the beginning. The Joes had to also be convinced that these are, spirits.
Yeah.
Some people fear us.
No, for sure. I
People
mean, I
fear
think you really wouldn't expect them to instantly go, oh, ghosts. Yeah, we deal with those every other Saturday.
Yeah, like this
Yeah.
is not their vibe, so they have to also figure it out, which is pretty cool.
And then there's this whole kind of like subplot of like them trying to Wild Bull, I think it's Wild Bull, who realizes, one of the ghosts is actually he's an American. And I feel like we can kind of like maybe work with this guy. The other guy's not so much. I mean, we have no real connection with Rome or Italy. The other one, not so much to Russia, I guess. But this one, we might actually be able to have some sort of line of communication. And that is like the big point where they kind of like are able to turn the RAF fighter dude over onto the Joe's side.
Well, he's an American aviator from World War One. How do you know? Well, his biplane has the hat in a ring, which is the symbol of the 94th Air Squadron, formed in 1917 in Texas. And that's
Wow.
the famous squadron that America's like highest scoring ace from the war, Eddie Rickenbacker. He was in that squadron. 26 aerial victories.
Race named after him.
Insane. That's almost as good as the Red Baron. I'm guessing.
And it's a cool symbol because, I mean, it's historically important that, like, America was involving themselves in World War One, so they've thrown their hat in the ring. Hence the Stars and Stripes hat through a ring. But yeah, I mean, Wild Bill, He's an aviator. He's probably also a history buff. He certainly likes his cavalry hat. So he recognized early that maybe we can get upstairs and have a word with this guy. He's got a little toy flag inside the cockpit of the Dragonfly.
It probably goes to like one of those big Texas steakhouses where they put the little flags into the steaks.
Well,
kind of
he explains it that it was a recent Memorial Day weekend, but the Dragonfly has, I mean, the toy at least, has plenty of like flag stickers all over it. So
yeah, but this is more fun.
It is more fun. So we see a POV right down the gun sight of the biplane, and CoverGirl holds up the flag, and this pilot's like, "Whoa, these guys are American." So he's kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back. He has a word with Wild Bill, and it's a very chilling scene.
Expression on her face.
Because, well, Wild Bill's, he sort of says, I ain't looking at you, kid. I'm looking through you.
Ghost.
It's he's the one to like tip him off that he's actually dead. Because for some reason, like the Mongolian and the Roman, they know their fate, but this guy's still kind of like, it's like he's just arrived almost. Like, I remember I gave my locket to my commanding officer and I flew off to fight the Krauts, and that's the last thing I remember. Like,
Well, the Kaiser's boys, to be fair.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very chilling. I played a nice note, and it was well performed. The acting was good. The scene was good.
Maybe it takes a couple of centuries before you become more self-aware and actually realize
Probably.
that you're a ghost. You know, like there's probably some sort of process. Like the
Or
longer
time
you're
moves
dead-
differently in the spirit realm. Like, because he was the most recent deceased. Like, it was 1917. Flash forward to 1985. It's only been, what, 70 years?
7 years? Yeah.
And that's just the blink of an eye for a spirit. Anyways, the other two, fuck them. They start laughing at him. That was really cruel. Like,
They're
you
like,
poor child.
you're dead now.
You're dead now. No
Yeah.
one, no one you ever knew. They're all dead now.
It's like a Beetlejuice vibe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, without the comedy. But the Joes pour on the
good.
assaults, and the other two spirits have been successfully converted by the American
exciting.
aviator to attack Cobra. Which they do. A team up between the Phantom Brigade and GI Joe.
Heck yeah.
There's an instance where, like, Cobra Commander just runs right past the Joes.
Yeah, he's just like, screw this. He's like, damn. Yeah, it's like, put your gun away. I don't care about your gun. I'm not scared of that. I'm going to run through you, Duke.
But he
Yeah.
gets his comeuppance because you mess with the spirit world, and this skeleton inexplicably, I've actually got there, kind of reanimates and confronts Cobra Commander. And it's cool, like, it was foreshadowed because this castle, this Romanian castle, of course it has skeletons just lying strewn about. So we saw it in an earlier shot with the Gypsy Queen, but now it's come back to life, kind of, half-life, I don't know. And it's tormenting Cobra Commander. I'll see you again soon. And that's another cool note that this episode played. Very unique to see this kind of
Memento Mori.
surreal horror note being played by G.I. Joe. But I'm into it, man.
Which, totally into it, dude. I love that about this. Something very Evil Dead about the skeleton as well at the end.
Because it just falls to the ground and, like, explodes.
WJ
just falls
also
apart.
kind of goes Super 7 Phantom Brigade figures. Yes, please. I hope so. And I hope that they see through and that they paint it with, like, clear paint or something, or like
I
Ghost
reckon
and
they
paint,
can do
make
cool
them look
stuff with
ghostly.
these characters. And they're also very uniquely the cartoon, which is very
Let's have an O-ring pilot and the biplane. Why not?
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
That could be fun. I would prefer just having the 3 figures. I mean, just because I don't know where to put the plane. But yes, I think that's a great idea, Steve. I think that's...
What,
that's
you're going to have the
totally-
Mongolian warrior without her
Standing around
horse?
without a horse? Come on.
What does the Centurion get? He's a pack-in with the Mongolian warrior. Because it's 2 figures and a horse and then 1 figure in a plane.
The
Yeah,
mind
that's what I was
races.
thinking.
Hey, Super
They
7.
each had
there
their
you
own
go.
unique backstory that, like...
I
okay,
want
so
the Gypsy Queen, bro.
Oh.
And then I want those items as well, like in like our size, like to have like them as props. Like you have the little locket and the coin and stuff. I think that would be so cool to have.
So it was a
as, like,
wedding
little
ring for the
tuck-in.
Mongolian warrioress.
Yeah.
It was a locket with his girlfriend for the aviator.
Mm-hmm.
And the Centurion had a coin, which I found this the most interesting. He had lost that coin before gambling one night. And I mean, if you join the dots and, realize that was the night he lost his life, like, he must have gotten into some kind of scuffle, maybe, about this gambling. And that's when someone just knifed him in the back or something.
Yeah, these are all like lucky items for them as well. So as soon as they're separated from them, they die. Which is also the kind of underwriting.
That's the trope. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which I liked too.
Like, why did the pilot give his
clever.
lucky locket to his commanding officer before flying off that day? That little arbitrary decision meant his life.
Yeah.
Fate.
It's silly. It's just like, because I mean, you could look at it as a fateful thing, or you could look at it as some part in his brain had given up and he knew he wasn't coming back, so he knew that the locket would get damaged or stolen, whatever's, so he gave it to his commanding officer. So there's also that a more rational explanation as well, which we can go into, which I don't think we need to. But yeah, and also there's eels in this episode. I just want to put that out there. Okay, there's eels in this episode.
Very cool to
and
see
no
eels, and
serpents.
very well represented. I mean, very accurate.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I am posting a link in the
without their
chats.
permission, or your hands will fall off.
There's a link in the chats to Mark's As Darkness Falls, as requested by WJ. So it's there now, but I'll also link it in the description to this video.
Doobly-doo.
Guys, I'm going to give this a 3.5. Quite liked it. Unique. Yeah. And very memorable as a result. Good character beats for these, throwaway characters. Each of the spooks had, like, a compelling little story there.
It almost feels like a sort of like a hidden. What do they call it? Like a pilot, but it's not actually a pilot for another TV show.
Backdoor pilot?
A backdoor pilot for the Phantom Brigade.
Totally.
They're very well fleshed out. They have, as we said earlier, I mean, they seem to have their own superpowers. They're very, like, each have their own sort of power that they have that goes on. And you can kind of feel their backstories. They each have a very distinctive backstory. They could probably have gone on to be featured in their own cartoon series. I mean, if people were so inclined. I'd probably give it, I think... I'm still not sold generally on supernatural stuff in GI Joe. So I probably would still go like down the middle. I give it a 3. Like, I still struggle with kind of like accepting really weird shit in my mind when I think of GI Joe. Even though, yes, we currently have zombies in the main comic book series. I'd probably give it a 3. I think. I mean, it's still a very solid story overall.
Yeah, I just feel like this one actually had some good writing. It wasn't giant vegetables or anything silly like that. Like, it has its own silliness, but its silliness is very well sort of handled. It also
and it has the darker moments,
Yeah, and it also wasn't a character of the week episode either. Like, they weren't like, oh, the focus is on this character specifically. It was It was very much about, like, I felt that, like, some of the subtext was like, this is what it's kind of about good, and it also kind of explains soldiers as well a little bit in its own way. And I know maybe I'm looking into it too much, but I do feel like there is a bit of subtext. It's GI Joes against ghosts that are also soldiers, against Cobra, who are also, like, extorting this other country. And it's kind of trying to show you that the good and bad guy line is not that easy to draw sometimes. So yeah, I give it a 4 because I think it's a lot cleverer than it deserves to be, and it gets away with it. Like I said, I didn't like this episode initially. Also, Airborne's in this. I didn't like this episode initially. I was on the same side as Rob. I was also like, I don't know if I want too much kooky shit in my GI Joe. But then when you finish watching this entire series, you actually realize you want more kooky shit in the cartoon and less of it in the comic book. You know?
So they
No.
bury the 3 items, and that allows the ghosts to disappear. Like that's part of the law as well. Proper burial equals setting them free and allowing them to rejoin their loves, or so we believe. The best notes of the episode is played by Michael Bell as Duke, when he's like, with a kind of a somber but also an uncertain tone. He's like, "I guess our work's done here. Come on, Joes," and they walk away. But then we get that ridiculous bloody piano sort of run. It's so messy. That scoring, if you know, you know. And we see Wild Bill notice the American flying off
he's
with
like,
his lady love. Yeah, totally. Hey,
like,
don't I know you? I remember her.
like it's a stretch, right? But like that would be interesting if like somehow
It'd
he's
be.
like related. You know?
Yeah.
Well, we've established
Like
that
that's-
the pilot is based
yeah.
in Texas. I mean, at least with his, his unit.
There you go, connecting the dots. Absolutely.
There you go.
Maybe Wild Bill remembers him from photographs. He was like,
So there you go.
"You know, your grandfather was an aviator in the Great War. He was
he's got
part
a
of the
connection,
94th Squadron." Yeah, totally. But everyone gets their happy ending, and we know because he's flying off into the sunset with
There you go.
his girl in the back. Hooray!
Before we close this cartoon episode, here's a correction from Viper Scout, which I can't believe you guys didn't pick up on. He was wrong. This was the episode before Light Camera Cobra. For some reason, I thought this was season 2.
I didn't want to call it out at the time because
Oh, you didn't?
my own knowledge is pretty shaky. But yeah, Viper Scout, you're on it, dude. You're on yourself. Fact checking
there
your
we
own
go.
facts. So
Hell yeah.
I can't recall which was the debut episode for the Firebats. I feel like we've already seen them in our cartoon rewatches, but it may well
I'd
be
like to think
Phantom
so
Brigade.
too. Yeah, it might be this one.
Maybe. Next week, a vehicle focus, or will it be a figure?
Oh
Will we do
my
our first figure, or will we do a
Ooh,
vehicle
that's
figure
pretty good.
set?
Maybe we
But-
should do DJ. Because we all have one now.
I don't have DJ. I will never get DJ.
Paul. he
Dude, I've
doesn't
seen
have it.
DJ at your house.
No, you haven't. It's a Mandela effect. You've got phantom memories, bro.
I think it's-
Yeah, well then I've got mine.
Um,
On purpose.
y-
It's pretty
maybe,
crap.
maybe I don't know. But I think we've got a few front runners. DJ is not one of them. You're off the hook, GI Joburg is. We will not be talking
Ooh,
DJ.
don't worry,
next time.
you will never hear us talk
Dude,
about DJ, except how cool it is that Andrew got me one.
Dude, Rob,
Complete.
I want to say this about DJ
And
quickly
looking
before we
really
run
good
off.
too.
There's a
All
lot
right.
of people that hate this toy, but really look at that toy, Rob. There is so much intricate and interesting sculpt detail on this figure, and there's so much that they were trying to do, and I respect it for that, definitely. And I respect
He's got a
that-
painted blackface. I wonder what color he is really under there.
Ooh, white actually, because
Helmet white,
he has
bro,
a
it's not
little
super
bit of
white.
paint off his nose.
Oh, he's,
Oh.
he's white.
He's literally
lines.
white.
And guys, I have a correction to make, courtesy of Ben Flying Retro. We will be doing a comic book review next week, featuring
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Talking Joe himself. Ben
Well,
will be here to join us in studio. We'll be talking issues, probably, hopefully by that stage, Cobra Commander number 2
Two.
and
Yes.
G.I. Joe number 304, which is out this
Yeah.
week. Both of them are out this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, that's
I'm excited about Cobra issue 2. I'm not gonna lie.
Whoa.
I don't know if I'm too
Not
excited
about the
about 3 or
zombies?
4.
Come on, Paul. You're rocking your cool zombie era look right now. I mean, you have to be it.
That's the pencil look.
And the link to As Darkness Falls is now in the description to this video as well. So scroll down, check it out.
Please do. Please
Very
do.
much in the vein of these cartoon episodes that we've just
Yes.
discussed. Like esoteric, supernatural, interesting vibes
yeah.
for G.I. Joe.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
the flavor that I usually taste with G.I. Joe. So it's got my attention, as I say.
Do we all own Crystal Ball? As WJ asks. I know I do.
I do.
I don't.
Sorry,
really
WJ. Oops.
Hmm. Fix
Oopsie.
that.
Before we run
Please
out
don't.
the door, I just want to say one last gigantic thank you to Andrew Creech for the absolutely incredible amount of crazy cool GI Joes,
Yeah. Thank you.
non-GI Joes, and just everything else that you sent to us, and the incredible packing. You've sent us an absolutely crazy amount of stuff, and crazy cool stuff as well. I appreciate all of it. Like I'm like super excited to like get everything out of their packaging and just have tons of like real, like cool fun, and see like what's going down when I take everything out and go crazy with them.
Jeez, Rob.
I can't wait.
Right
Well,
on, brothers.
I won't do it tonight. It's quite late. I'm probably going to go sleep, but I'm very happy.
I'm gonna probably check out that Super 7 Power Ranger and Rex tonight. Can't help it.
Hell yeah.
As always, we salute our patrons and YouTube channel members. If you are subscribed to the channel, I will be dropping some bonus footage. Berg, what's the level up from recruit? I don't know. This falls into the bonus category footage. So you got to be in the middle tier to get it. But Elliot and I played a lot, and I included some of the footage at the end of my unboxing video. I will include the uncut full edition for your consumption at the.
I wish I was a member of our channel so I could see it.
Well, I'll slip you a backdoor access, Rob. Ooh, oh dear, phrasing.
Ooh, oh no, Steve. So
Yo, Joe.
Berg.
And also thank you again for the